I just want to touch on a little bit. I feel like college is kind of a scam. This is not me suggesting if you are currently in college that you should drop out and do as I say. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby Paglia, and today I'm finally going to be telling you guys why I dropped out of college and why I'm probably never going to be going back. For some people, the best thing is to stay into school, and I totally understand that. If it were under different circumstances for myself, I'd probably still be in college right now. This is just me telling my personal experience, my opinions, thoughts, feelings of what happened to this specific college I went to. So with that, I'm gonna get into the video. So if I were still in college to this day, I would be a junior in my fall semester. Unfortunately, I did drop out. God, it's probably like almost hitting the 2-year mark, because I believe I dropped out in the end of the fall semester, December, November-ish of 2021. I was going to school studying health sciences with a focus on the pre-physician assistant program. So it would have been 5 years total for me, because it was an extended program to get into PA school. So in the beginning of my fall semester, I, like I said, had a very demanding major, some would say. I was also a D2 athlete, and I'll never let anyone forget that. I was on my university's cheer team, and I was working part-time at a nursing home, which if you've seen my ranking my jobs video, you know that that was that nursing home, to try and get myself some clinical hours. With all that, I was also, you know, you have a social life in the college. There's the going out and all that stuff that just makes it like the college experience that everyone wants. This was the only school I wanted to be accepted to. I didn't care about any of the other ones. I was dead set, like, I'm going to this university. Thankfully for me, that happened. I got into my dream school. I cannot tell you guys how ecstatic and just like relieved I was when I finally got that acceptance letter into this university. And when I got there, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was, because we were still in the height of COVID. I actually ended up having a double room, so I had 2 beds in it, 2 sets of everything, but it was all to myself. I didn't have a roommate. We were not allowed to pick roommates because the COVID was really bad, especially in Philly. That's the location of where my university was. For half of that year, I spent time in a dorm room alone, which you would think would be like the most ideal idea. And the first months for me, it was really fun, because I was nervous about getting a roommate. You know, you hear stories about people not liking their roommates and this and that. So I was really enjoying like the time to myself, not having a roommate, not having to worry about any of that. But with that, it made it harder for me to make friends, especially in the dining room or other places where you would be social. You had to social distance, you weren't allowed to sit next to anyone. But what I'm trying to get at is you were basically by yourself on campus. And unless you knew people that were going there, like maybe from your high school or friends of friends, you were in a position probably to not make any friends. I was paying pretty much X amount of dollars a year to attend this university, just to sit in the dorm by myself, and all the classes were online. Pretty much all the classes were online. So fast forward to spring semester of my first year in college, I actually did have one person that I knew from my hometown, from my high school, that was at Jefferson, so I decided to room with her, and that was great. Everything about that was great. Just, it wasn't what I had thought my whole life of college to be. And with the classes online, that was also something I had to deal with in high school. And when I was in high school, no one paid attention. You know, you're sleeping through the classes. I'm sure this is something everyone can agree on. You're not really learning anything. So I felt like in my freshman year of college, I was pretty much teaching myself 5, 6, 7 courses. Fast forward to second year of college, finally the restrictions lifted. That's when I met majority of my friends, and I had a really nice time. I probably met the nicest people ever, and I'm really thankful that I got to meet my friends from college, because I love them, and to this day I still go and see them. I still go up to the university, we go out, and it's great. So I couldn't be more thankful for that part. And if anything from this takeaway, I'm happy that I met this certain group of friends that I did. We had moved up from the dorms, and I believe sophomores at that time were eligible to live on the on-campus apartments, which was a lot different from a dorm. An apartment is a much bigger deal than a dorm because you had the bathroom, you had the kitchen, and everything else. So I ended up rooming with two of my friends from the previous year that I had met. Getting to the end of the fall semester of my second year in college, and I still had a few classes that were online, but they weren't very like core curriculum. I believe I've stated it before, but I'm not sure, so I'm just gonna say it again for any new viewers or people that are wondering. I do have depression. That, for me, that time of year is just a really bad time of year for me. I would, you know, stay up late trying to finish assignments for the next day, or I would just be up in our living room of the apartment, I don't know, watching TV, just staying up later when I shouldn't have. And that tied in with the depression. I would not get up out of bed. I would not attend my in-person classes, and even sometimes the online classes that I had, I wouldn't log into them. I believe I slept for probably 12 to 14 hours, and the way the apartment was laid out, my one roommate had a bedroom to herself, and then me and our other roommate shared the bedroom, so it was two beds in the room. And she would have to wake me up because she was getting ready to go to her classes, and she'd be like, "Oh, Gabby, like, you gotta wake up, don't you have class?" Or, "I thought you had class." And I just wouldn't wake up, and I wouldn't get out of bed. I'd probably roll out of bed at 3 in the afternoon, maybe 2:30 sometimes, and I just wouldn't attend class for that day. And it kind of snowballed into, oh, well, I wasn't in class like for these past couple days. I feel like if I go in, I'm not gonna know anything. And just the anxiety of getting up out of my bed, out of the apartment, walking into my classes when everyone had known, or I thought like in the back of my head, oh, everyone's gonna know like I've missed this entire week, and I don't want to go back and have people like look at me and like think, oh, like she's fine. I don't know, just like some anxiety because of the mental state I was in. And also I know now I was putting way too much pressure on myself. It was just the things that were going on, they were getting too much for me. I didn't do anything, so I stopped pretty much being a student, just lying in bed for weeks, getting up only to go to the bathroom. And as I say that out loud to the camera, I know that sounds sad, but that was my reality of it, and I know it's no one else's fault but mine. For people that deal with mental health issues, depression looks different, or any mental illness looks different on everyone because everybody is different. That's how mine is. That's how I react to things. My body just completely shuts down. I get in a really bad place, and I just kind of don't want to exist, which I make jokes about that, and you know, to kind of cope with how I feel, but that's my reality of my depression. It just makes me not want to exist. It is what it is. So my grades, as you could imagine, were horrendous because I was not going to classes, wasn't learning anything, and I would never admit this to my friends because obviously once I had dropped out, a lot of people asked me the reason, and I just wasn't comfortable at the time telling them. And I just didn't want certain people to know. I didn't want people to be like, oh, like it was too hard for her, she's a college dropout, now she's gonna be a bum, and just things like my family would maybe take on it because they have all been raised, you go to high school, then you go to college, and if you don't go to college, you work on a trade, and then that's that. And another thing I just want to say, which I probably should have mentioned before, so I'm gonna backtrack a little bit again. I don't think it was my parents' intention to do this to me, but at that time when I was picking out colleges, and I was really excited to go to college, so maybe they didn't think that not going to college, like they didn't think to mention it maybe, but no one had ever said to me, you know, it's okay if you don't want to go to college. You don't have to go to college. You can pick up a trade, you can just work, and that'll be okay. That had never been brought up to me. I'm just gonna say that and gonna be done with it for now. And that whole thing was going on, I felt like a failure. I felt like the grades did define me at that point because of the way I was thinking. I was just like, well, I'm not smart enough for college. I don't know why I thought I could do this. I got in over my head. All these kind of negative thoughts I was putting into my mind. Yeah, maybe I could have turned things around, but just the way it was for me in that point in time, in my mind, there was no coming back from that. And it was around the time we were starting to pick courses for the spring semester. And I just kind of decided, like, you know what? I don't think college is for me. I don't want to go through this anymore. I don't feel like I'm capable enough anymore. You know, just things like that. So I'm not gonna say never, but as of right now, I feel very confident in not going back to college. And the only thing that would really make me want to go back to college is just the socialization and the friends I had made. That is not a good reason to put myself through all that again, and I just decided enough's enough. I'm gonna drop out. I moved everything out of my apartment. I was still kind of in that depressing mindset and rut for months after that because I just felt like I wasted a year and a half of my time, of my parents' time, my money, my parents' money, and I just felt like everyone would kind of have a negative connotation or like perspective of me because I quit in the middle of college. I'm okay with the decision I had to make. I don't care what any family members may have to say about that. My decision to do that, and I'm happy with it because right now in present time I am very happy with what has come of that. It gave me more time to focus on content creating, and I've said it before and I'll say it 1,000 times. Content creating, being a YouTuber is my ultimate dream job and has always been my dream job. So now I have more time to focus on this. And also, I have a really great job right now. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I currently work for the IRS, and I'm very young to be working for them. I think I'm probably one of the youngest employees they've had, but I'm just in a really great position and I'm setting myself up for a really great and bright future without college. Like proving my point that you can do this and you can make a great life for yourself and you can be very comfortable financially without having to go to college. I feel a lot more relaxed. My mental health is a lot better than it was years prior, and I'm happy. And that's all, honestly, that I could ask for. When I had dropped out, I didn't really have a plan for what I was doing. Thank God it worked out for me though, but I wouldn't suggest you doing this. I would just say do what you want to. Just know you do not need to go to college if you don't want to. You should look at other options. There are many available, and just make smart decisions. I learned from mine regardless, and just be very mindful of the choices you make. So I'm gonna finish this video up by saying the reason I state I'm never going back to college, or I probably will never go back to college, I don't see myself as of now wanting to work in the medical field. And I feel like college is great, yes, but I feel like, in my opinion, you really only need to go to college if it's for something in the medical field, something in the sciences, STEM, engineering, anything like that type of job. I feel like would be the only reason I would need to go to college, because there are thousands and thousands of jobs that do not require you to go to any college, hence my IRS job. So I don't know, I would just say do what feels right for you. If you have pressure on you from parents, friends, family, it is ultimately your decision. It is not their lives. I know that a lot of people feel like they were forced into college. I somewhat feel that way still, but if you're not happy and it isn't the route you want to take, that is totally up to you, and no one else should have a say-so in it, in my opinion, because you are the one that's trying to create a better life for yourself and something that will make you happy while giving you the education and the financial ability to just feel free and do whatever you want with your life. So that's kind of my takeaway from all this. Circumstances for everyone are very, very different, and I completely understand that. I'm just saying I probably don't see myself going back into the medical field. I just want to touch on a little bit. I feel like college is kind of a scam. I feel like it's a lot of money to be shelling out to a university that doesn't care about you as a person and just kind of looks at you as a number, and you're gonna have to be paying off that debt for probably the rest of your life. For only being in college a year and a half, I have a ton of debt, and it's still gonna be very difficult for me to pay that off, but just some other things I would take into consideration. But I don't want to touch too much on that because I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't want to tell people what to do with their lives or sway someone's opinion. This is just my story, and I feel like I have said everything I needed to say. It's pretty much my story of why I dropped out. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked this week's video. And if you like this video and you like me, please give this video a big thumbs up. And comment down below if you have any more questions that you'd like me to touch on. I can do a little shorts video on it, or I can make a totally separate video about it. Just for any new viewers or people that do not follow my Instagram, I'm switching my posting time from Wednesdays at 3 p.m. to Sundays at 5 p.m. due to my job schedule. For the rest of the time being, I'm no longer posting on Wednesdays. My weekly videos will always be posted on Sundays at 5 p.m. from now on. So either make sure you're following my Instagram right here, or make sure you're subscribed and you have the notification bell on, because with the weekly videos, I also post shorts throughout the week. Want to make sure you don't miss that. Again, thank you for watching. You guys have made a very huge impact on my life, and I'm just happy I get to do this. So I'll see you guys next week or somewhere else on the internet. And that's it.
DA got that dope.
Bye.
Dropped out of college, but bitch, I'm still ballin'. I know that you jealous a little bit. She seen my picture.